Alright guys, let's go ahead and get started. How are you guys doing? It is nice, lovely Thursday evening, at least for me. I'm not sure what time zone you guys are in and where you are around the world, if you're watching. We talk to a lot of people in a lot of different places. Been an alright week, you know. Been nice, been fun. Played plenty of D&D last weekend, so that was fun. Looks like my game for tomorrow is going to be canceled, so that's unfortunate. But, got a fun Halloween-themed one-shot we're going to do over the weekend on Sunday, so that should be a lot of fun. I think we're going to play a skeleton, so it's it's going to be interesting. Haven't played one of those before. And trying to find a way around the not being able to talk. Kind of hard as a PC character, you know, to work around sometimes. Let's see, is there anything else we need to talk about? I don't think so. We left off in a pretty... let me turn the light on. Left off in a pretty good place, I think, last time. We made it all the way up to the ruined tower. I guess, yeah, let's just go ahead and do just sort of a quick recap about kind of what happened last time. It was very eventful. Usually I feel like they aren't quite that eventful. You know, our sessions don't usually have that much combat in it, frankly. I think is the main thing. Let's see. So yeah, we started off last time after went to sleep, waiting to see if the desert guide would return to their outpost. That did not happen, but we did have Rhymefire come and pay us a visit. The dragon wormling came back after his sort of night of flying around, see if he could scout any information. I think we got some basic information about him that basically we're heading in the right direction. So we did our update calendar, you know, checked all our rations, all that good stuff, and then shot off back to the northeast. Now, in that time, while we were crossing this sort of small, sort of barren desert-like area, we came across somebody sort of like on the horizon, kind of running in our direction. And, you know, obviously the whole group's sort of like on guard, but it is one person, or at least we thought it was one person. And it turned out to be an NPC that Leah and Omer knew, named Aeolus, who was hired by the same noble that hired Ott, our Knoll companion, to chase after the magical tapestry. And so Leah and Omer know Aeolus from their time working together in the research team back at the Riverside Conservatory. So it's weird that they have found yet another discredited academic kind of running around this, also for his life this time, chased by a few bodyguards on horseback. That was apparently from another noble, and we discovered later on that was in fact the noble that whose keep we'd stopped by, his holdfast that we'd stopped by previously on the way out. And it had sort of a weird vibe from. Kind of put two and two together. We also got into a fight with some axe beaks. That's another random encounter. So that was a fun one. We ended up with a bunch of random encounters in the last game, right? And speaking of which, the last game is actually now finally up on YouTube. So if you missed the live episode, you can now go watch it. I had a real difficult run of it. There was some problem with the video encoding, so I had a number of issues sort of trying to edit it and then upload it. So I had to kind of keep at it, chipping away at it, and then finally got it into a state where it looked like it could go up, and it appears to be up and working fine. So if you guys have any issues with that, let me know. See if I can figure out if there's anything wrong with it, what I can do. Let's see, we fought the axe beaks, came across a copse of trees, and that is where Ott and the noble were. We sort of began that discussion about sort of what they were doing and what's going on. But we had an interrupted scene. To find out that the rival noble, now the rival, sort of, that was giving us some, you know, misinformation, has apparently beat us to the location of the magic tapestry. And as we know right now, are laying some sort of mundane trap for us. Some sort of trap for us at some point. And we also learned that the treasure is actually much closer to the rival nobles' home than we thought. It's not out here. And we're still not sure on the motive of the rival noble. We're not sure if they're searching it for themselves or they're protecting it against being pillaging. Against us taking it. Unclear at this moment. I assume that they want it for themselves. Until we find that proven otherwise. Basically. Now we do have some question marks after the last session. We don't know if the noble's heir, who we talked to on our way out, who's sort of coming back in to give a status report, was captured by that rival noble. If they'd stopped there, that they might have sort of grabbed them and maybe holding them hostage. We don't know about that. That is a possibility. And then we discussed about, like, what were we going to do? Were we going to rest here and then go back the following day because we were a ways away? And everybody kind of made the decision, no, we should go now, even though it's late in the day and into the night. Because if we go now, there's a better chance that they won't have the trap ready for us, because they won't know that we're aware of it yet. So that's what we decided to do. And on the way back, right, we got attacked by gnoll raiders. And that didn't go too great for us. And we got lost in the desert. That also didn't help us. But we were able to find our way out of the desert. And Leah and Entourage at this point made it all the way to sort of like the adventure location, which we now know is a ruined wizard tower in Undercroft. I spent a little time in between the game actually making a few things for the dungeon. Like, I don't have it fully fleshed out. Like, I didn't want to completely flesh it out. But I do find sort of doing these one-on-one or these sort of solo plays that it's a little bit more helpful for me if I do a lot of that sort of like mundane rolling kind of beforehand. So you guys are just sitting here watching me roll dice, roll dice, roll dice, go, roll dice, and make notes. So I've gone ahead and put together a few things. It's not very much here. You guys can see the notes. Like, that's all the notes that I have for it. It's not very much. But just to have something there, so it's not just me trying to fill that in as well as play the characters and do the stream all at the same time. More of an efficiency thing. Let's see. So yeah. I did the update to Ott, right? Got Ott to 2nd level. I created our noble sidekick, which is Naida. Just her right there. She's the Dwergar. We could update our session goals. We did find Ott and companions. So now we're going to try to grab the magical tapestry. And sub-goal to that, rescue the heir? Question mark? And again, we still haven't really had a chance to really kind of talk to Ott. Everybody was kind of hoofing it on the way back and then had to rest up because we got roughed up pretty badly by the gnoll raiders. Jump into it. Alright, let's review our adventure threads and update. Let's do that. That's our last little piece of housekeeping. Nope, none of that's changed. I think that this Leah's adventuring trauma is going to come up again. Probably the next time she takes a long rest. Just because she just kind of went through a gauntlet of combats, and that I feel like that would be triggering for her. So as far as we know, there's still nobody chasing Leah and Omer for their hijinks. We do not have a permanent hiding spot for Rhymefire. We are assisting the noble. Yeah, so we don't really need to update anything there. Don't need to update the weather because it's still the middle of the night. So it's basically we're setting out, and they've kind of camped down now, and they're kind of laying down in sort of like the high grass of the area, kind of watching, looking ahead, because there's definitely a fire that's going on in sort of like this ruined wizard's keep, and you can see like the silhouettes of this rival noble's men that are kind of around the campfire and going about sort of like their evening chores or revelry. And you can also see that there are patrolling guards that are going around. So I think the first thing for them is going to be... They can tell that there are quite a few people here. But I think looking through it, you know, Leah's going to kind of roll over and kind of look at Naida and be like, do you see the other noble, the other person we're looking for? Or your... we haven't determined whether son, daughter, or whatever. Or your heir. And let's... Yeah, we could roll for that. I don't think it's very likely. I don't think that they're up top. So -5 to that. Yeah, no. Says, no, they must be somewhere deeper into the ruins. Alright, so then that leaves us the question... We do know that there's a guard patrol, basically, between us and the start of the ruins. Do we want to try to slink past that? Do we want to try to go around it? What do we think is the best bet? Now, we've brought with us... So we've got Leah, obviously. And we've got Ott, and we've got Naida. Yeah, I mean, they're alright. I mean, they're certainly more combat capable than Delganome are. And Naida is also a spellcaster, limited spellcaster. So they can get into some scraps. They've got some staying power. They can get into a few fights. Well, there should be 3 hit dice. 4, right? Or maybe it is 4. We're gonna leave it. I would assume that previous me knows what they're talking about. So yeah, that's the question. So are we gonna try to sneak in? Do we want to try to grab the guards and on patrol and put them out quietly? Sneak around them, or maybe do we try to go like the long ways around? I think we're gonna lean on Ott here to be sort of our tactical person, as sort of the hunter, person with sort of like the hunting and sort of adventuring and skirmisher sort of background. This feels like something that's very much sort of in her wheelhouse. So I think we're gonna rely on her for this one, for the most part. At least for making this decision. I guess the first question should be, how many people can we see? Well, let's make that a perception check, first of all. And we'll let do it. Here's +3. She'll get advantage because we have multiple people there. Alright, let's look at that. 15. What's the DC going to be for that? Okay, that'd be a DC 12. Yes. So she is successful in seeing it. So how many are actually there? Let's see if I actually write everything down. I did not. Okay. So there are... Oh, there's just one guard. A lone guard standing by a broken wagon. Sort of a single light from a lantern next to them, like throwing these weird sort of shadows into the gloom. But, you know, they sit there and they look at it and they're like, well, it's only one person. Certainly it would be easier to attack one person, but maybe it'd be easier to stealth around them. What does everybody's stealth kind of look like? I think is what they probably take an assessment for. Otts is alright. Alright, +4. +1 for Naida. And Leah's is +1. So, not the greatest chance of sneaking by in the world. But doable. but probably easier to sort of silence them. And I think, being Ott's specialty, she's going to see if she can sort of slink up in the night and maybe just take care of this one guard. Let's give her a check. So the DC for this is 11. And that'll do it, for sure. So she sort of slinks up through the night, kind of goes around, kind of comes up behind the guard. And I'm sure she's got... I don't have a dagger on her character sheet, but I think it would be very bizarre for sort of like an outdoorsy person to not at least have a sharp knife on them. Maybe not necessarily a weapon that she would normally use in combat, but definitely something that she uses for sort of dressing game and things like that, and doing other sorts of bushcraft. So yeah, let's let her get an attack in, and you know, this is a one-on thing. This is definitely a movie kind of come up and clamp your hand over a guy and stab the guard and take him down. So yeah, we're just looking for a hit on this guard. She's gonna have advantage because she has backup for it. Yeah, there's no way a 20 doesn't hit the guard. So the question is does the, and this seems like more of an oracle roll, does it go down quietly? Does this guard go down quietly? We did all the things right. I think that's highly likely, so +5. Oh, good thing. Because that's not a great roll, 13, but that's still a yes. Alright, so we see the sort of like inky shadows as Leah and Naida kind of watch from outside as Ott sort of stands up, this hulking sort of 7-foot tall shadow behind the guard, clamps like one furry meaty paw over the mouth and just jabs the knife into this guard's neck and sort of like pulls them out of the light, pulls them down to the ground. Okay, so are they gonna do anything with the guard? Are they gonna like try to lean him up so it looks like he's still at his post, or are they just gonna have him MIA, leave him there in the dark? I don't know what they're gonna do. I don't think they're going to take the time to search the guard for any reason. Now, we did say there's a broken wagon there. I think they're just going to toss him the broken wagon, and we'll let Ott, who has the best stealth, let her make basically a stealth check with advantages. They sort of just like throw a moldy blanket over it. But, yep, that'll do it. That's like 20-something. Let's double check, though. No, I don't need to do that. We have a room DC. And the room DC is 11, so we're more than well. Yeah, so we kind of stuff it in there and throw like some old sackcloths and things that are probably in there, old moldy sort of sackcloths, and throw it over the body. And continue on. Alright, so they have an opportunity here where they could try to go straight in. That's where there's going to be significantly more people. They kind of go in straight into sort of like the camp area that's sort of in the sort of proper section of the keep. That's, sorry, this is just a note where I've like drawn a line map of what everything looks like. So they can either sort of like go in straight to where this ruined keep is. So it's got the sort of ruined shell in the front, which has like a big campfire that's like throwing a bunch of light up against sort of like what remains of the crumbling sort of interior walls of this keep tower. And they can see from that far off that there are a number of figures sort of milling about and doing things that they're not being particularly quiet, so they can't really pick up exactly what they're hearing at this distance, but you can definitely hear that they're talking. We try to do that, or we try to maybe go around to the other side where it's dark, especially now since we've sort of taken out that one sort of picket on the perimeter. That's probably going to make that a lot easier. I think they're going to opt for that. I think I'll just take a group stealth roll for them. Leah's in the middle. I'm pretty sure with her stealth. Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, alright, they're the same. So yeah, we're just gonna do a stealth check for them. They'll have advantage because I took out the guard. Can't do any better than a natural 20. It doesn't go any higher than that. There's only 20 sides. Alright, perfect. Yeah, so they're gonna slink around. I think as they get around to the backside is when they're gonna come across what, because I made the stupid line drawing earlier this week, know that there is something back there. But they wouldn't know that. They kind of come around the corner and they see that there's actually a lot more noise that's happening sort of on the back side of this tower. And I'm gonna... They sort of come up upon, and they find some cover sort of behind this sort of picnic table that's kind of been set out. It's got cobwebs all over it. Looks like the guards brought it out from the remains of the keep and it's setting out there. And they seem to be playing some sort of game next to a collapsed hut. It's definitely in the dark now at this point, but they are sort of like kicking around the ball of some sort. There's a handful of them out here, kind of making some noise. And there is sort of like they look up at like sort of the top layer of the table, and there is a piece of chalk, and there's some strikes there's a tally going on the table. Like, looks like maybe this is where they're keeping score. So do we want to keep going past this? Now, going past this, there's more blackness towards the full back of the keep. This is definitely probably about most of the way around one side. Well, I don't think they want to stay here. This is a really bad spot. Clearly somebody's going to come over here and to this table at some point. And we don't really want to be stuck in between a group of guards on one side and a group of guards on the other side. So I think they're going to probably move on. And since they're moving on, let's go ahead. Let's roll a d6. Make sure that because there's still guards around the perimeter. Like, there's patrolling guards still. There's quite a few people here. They're just in the middle of the night, so it's really difficult for them to see. And everybody that's with them has dark vision, so they don't need to worry about light. So we don't have to worry about that. Okay. No random things. So they're going to pass around sort of that area over to the back. And there's more open ground, but there's also broken too. Like, there's definitely some rocks and things that are kind of sticking up in the murk of the darkness. And they're kind of casting these weird shadows in their direction. As you can see, there's a faint light. It seems to be coming from a crest of the ground above, in front of them. So they're kind of looking at it and being like, I don't know what that is. It is flickering. It definitely seems like it's firelight. So somebody gonna go check that out? Now the question is, I guess let's do a perception check. Did they hear any sounds coming from it? Again, we have multiple people, so there's no reason not to have advantage on this roll. That's a very good roll. That definitely beats our DC for this sort of area. Yeah, do they hear anything? I think it's... You know what, I'm gonna make this a flat roll. No, they don't hear anything. So they creep up towards the edge, and they look down. It looks to be some sort of, like, pit, almost like pit trap of some type. Like some sort of, like, maybe it was for attackers, so that seems kind of weird. Like, maybe it was for a deadfall for sort of like an animal or something. Maybe for some sort of trapping. And they can see now as they look down that there is sort of like the fallen body of what looks like maybe it was one of the patrolling guards, and sort of like the embers of their torch that's almost gone out at this point, just sort of in the bottom of the pit. So here's a question: are there any marks on the body? I think this is Knowing what I do know about this, I'm gonna say that's likely. Alright, 9, 10, 11. So yes, but it is an interrupted scene. And I'm pretty sure I know what it gets interrupted by. So one of the things is this is sort of like the monster hunting grounds. So I do have, here I can just bring this over so you guys can see it real quick. Right over there. So I have the monster hunting grounds, DC 8, lantern glowing from the pit. I decided to make that a torch because it made more sense the way we came upon it. So this is also stalked by predators, which means that there is something lying in wait for us. Now the question is it, and I'll just ask the Oracle this, rather. That may be easier to do. Is this one of the common enemies that's going to be in this dungeon? I think that's highly likely, so +5. Yeah, alright. Alright, so we're going to get, and I'm not even going to roll for what the sort of interrupt scene is, because it's just going to make sense to be one of these. So, alright. Low or high? Nope, doesn't get any lower than that. Alright, so that's gonna be... Let's go then. We're gonna come across some steeders. Or, in fact, just one steeder. A female steeder. So, a giant buggy. Let's get over here. Alright, so we did our session start. We sort of snuck up and stabbed the guard. And snuck around the keep. That's the recreation field. We found the pit. And we're... He is technically ambushed by a steeder. But I guess we can give a surprise roll. We should do that. Alright, let's see everybody's initiative first. So we got Leah, we've got Art, Naida, and we've got a steeder somewhere. Alright, so the steeder, like I said, and let the bad guys take 10, so the steeder's at 13 and has 30 hit points. Perfect. Alright, for Leah. Nope, after. Odd's going after. Naida? Naida's going first. Okay. Alright. So, Naida's up first. Oh, I was gonna roll for surprise. Just gonna make it basic 10s. Or whatever the DC is. DC's 8. Alright, so Leah's fine. Ott is not okay. Naida's okay. I think Ott's very focused, is down there, and definitely is surprised. So let's put her right here. Not only was she going at the end of the round, she's also surprised. Great job. Wilderness extraordinaire. Feels very Jurassic Park with the guy with the raptors. Alright, Naida's up first. How much do they worry about not causing a bunch of ruckus? I don't know if she cares about that. There's already a light going on here, so I think her casting something that's going to put off some light like Sacred Flame is not going to be a big deal. So she will do that. That's a dex save. That's a dex fail. Alright, and I believe... does D8. Ooh, for minimum damage. Gotta love it. Alright, so she shoots off a Sacred Flame, so there's just a short flash of sort of like brilliant light as this thing slaps into the cedar. It's like, as it's coming up on them in the dark. It is the Steeder's turn. Oh, Steeder, what you gonna do? I'm probably gonna jump on somebody. Well, Ott's surprised, so probably Ott. So I believe they get advantage. So they're gonna hop on Ott. Not Pop, but Ott. And gonna try to get it stuck to their legs. Because they got the sticky leg trap. +5 to this roll. 17. Pretty sure 17 hits Ott. It does. Alright, so jumps on Ott and grips her up. But doesn't actually do any damage with that. Does it? Nope, just grappled. So it sort of grabs Ott and starts sort of like pulling her in with its sort of arms, its legs. It's all sticky. So she is grappled. It's Leah's turn. What's Leah gonna do? Well, this thing's probably right next to her now. Since it's right next to her, probably. Do I want to try to do something cool, or do I want to try to do something... No, I think I'm just going to keep it simple. Just going to try to hit this thing with her staff. Now, she does have a friend next to her. I'm going to give her the flanking gang up bonus. 15. I think 15 will hit. AC 14. Sure does. Okay. D8 plus 3. Nice, that's better. 8 points. Down to 21. She sort of cracks this thing in its mandible with the end of her staff. Trying to push it off of Ott. Trying to push it away. Ott is no longer surprised. But back to the top. Aida. Yeah, she's gonna let off another Sacred Flame. It worked so far. 13 plus 3, that's 16. Pretty sure that beats her DC. Which I didn't write down, but it is 8 plus. So 8 plus 4. So yeah, her DC is 12. Yep, doesn't hit. Radiant Light zips past it. It's its turn. It's going to try to take a bite out of crime here on Ott. Alright, well. I was trying to figure out whether I was going to get advantage or not. But it doesn't really matter when you roll a natural 20. Does it? It doesn't go any higher than that. That's as high as it goes. God. Alright. Well, this thing's just about to annihilate Ott. I think what's about to happen. Alright. Let's see it. Alright. 9 plus... What am I looking at? 9 plus 3, that's 12. Alright, so down to 14, but we haven't done the big one yet, which is... We're gonna get the poison damage, so there's 48 poison damage. Ugh, 18. Yeah, just gonna immediately, in one hit, just take her out. That's a big fat goose egg. Oh, great job. Yeah, there's nothing she can do about it. I don't think there's anything any of them can do about it. I know Leah can't do anything. I don't think Naida can do anything about it either. Nope, sure can't. Alright. Yep, grabs her, and I think... It seems like a very opportunistic hunter thing, so I don't think it's going to stick around. So I think this thing's going to turn, it's going to turbocharge its legs, because that's what it does, and it's going to hop off into the night with an unconscious Ott grappled up with it. Extraordinary Leap, tripled. Every foot of its walking speed that it spends on the jump allows it to move 3 feet, while it would jump its whole speed, I would think. So, 90 feet, jeez. Yeah, so this thing just, like, does a 30-yard leap into the darkness of the night, away with Ott, just leaving the two there baffled. I guess they both get attacks, right? They're both right next to it. They can take some shots at it, but I don't think they're gonna kill this thing. Leah will make an attack. They do have advantage on the attacks. Yeah, she'll hit. For a minimum damage of 4. Yeah, so, yeah, I don't think that's gonna work out. I don't think there's any way she could even muster up enough damage. Not even if she crit, wouldn't muster up enough damage to really knock this thing out. But I'll go ahead and give her the roll just for fun. Oop, not that one. Well, she'll hit. What is her melee weapon? Oh, she has a rapier. What do you have +2? 8 points of damage. Respectable. Right, but that Steeder makes away with Ott into the night. It is Ott's turn. Ott will make a... am I gonna make him... Ott make... She's very much out of the scene, I think. Yeah, I'm gonna make her make a death saving throw until at least I know whether they're going to be, like, chasing her. Alright, so she succeeds. Oh, not Naida. Ott has a success. There we go. Alright, do they give chase? Do they chase the giant spider into darkness even though they just watched it just massively just jump away? Yeah, I think they'll give it a good run. I think Leah's gonna run after him. So she'll do a dash, which will get her 60. Which will get her in line to basically see it, but it's still 30 away. Although she could just have... I forgot about that. She can move once. They have Dark Vision 60. So she can move once, not have to take the dash, and then take a shot. She is pretty far out. Yeah, I think she's gonna try to gank it with a firebolt at this. Unfortunately, she's gonna miss. I know for certain 10's not gonna hit it. Alright, Naida's gonna try a very similar thing, but she's just gonna do a Sacred Flame. Which is a dex save from the spider. Who is gonna fail? Take 4 more points of damage. Unfortunately, I think once it jumps here, it's definitely going to be out of Leah's eye line. She won't be able to see it even if after she moves. But not Naida. She is quite... She can see much further in the dark. So yeah, I guess the Steeder's going to make another jump. It's going to jump another 90 away, so now it's 120 from them. Which is just at the range of Naida's sight. But has definitely lost it for Leah. So, Leah's gonna run. Let's see. I'm gonna roll a d6 since we're at the end of the round to see if anything kind of... They're making some noise now, right? They're firing off spells in the dark. I'm sure the spider's making some noise. So let's see. Is anybody else gonna pick up on this? No. Nobody's coming yet. Alright, so that takes us to the top. Naida's gonna head over there. Does Naida want to use an actual spell? I don't think Naida wants to use an actual spell. Thing's almost dead. But she's gonna ask for that dex save. Come on, low. 7 again? That's a fail. Alright, come on. Come on. Maximum damage. Nice. Alright, that will be enough to take out the Steeder. Oh, I shouldn't. I need to do a death save for Ott. That's a failure. But that is enough to take out the spider, so it jumps in the darkness, and then there's just this flash of brilliant white light, searing light that slithers through the darkness and impacts against the side of this steeder, and it kind of crumples down into the ground. Doing that thing where spiders roll over to the back and then their legs all come in like that. With an unconscious Ott attached to them. And the ladies rush up to take stock of their companion, neither of whom, I believe, are trained in medicine in any way. Nope. Oh, no, Naeed is. Excellent. She will attempt to stabilize. She will provide first aid. +4. She has help, though. It didn't matter. Natural 20. Alright, Ott stabilized. Now, unfortunately, Ott's still at 0 until we finish a short rest. So now we gotta figure out what the heck we're gonna do about Ott. Also, giant spiders. We're gonna talk about that? So it seems like they are not alone. There's more than just the noble's men here. There are other things, creepy crawlies in the night. Around these ruins. Oof, what are they going to do with Ott? They've moved quite a bit. I'm going to give them a perception check to see if they see the next sort of, like, location in the tower. In this dungeon. Now that they've moved quite a bit. Man, hot with the 20s. Not when I need them, not with attacks, unless they're against us. Yeah, I don't need to look at the DC. They definitely do find... They can see, definitely, now, where the steeder was going. And there's just this sort of, like, chasm in the ground that's outside sort of, like, the keep proper. Just kind of around some crumbling, sort of, outbuilding walls. You see that there's a relatively large size hole, because, I mean, the female steeder is large, I think. Pretty sure. Yes, large. So, definitely a large, sort of wagon-sized hole that's in the ground that's sort of been dug out. And looks like, well, that may be the safest place to rest now, unless they try to drag her dead body all the way back around, or they try to drag her around the other way, which we don't know what we're going to come across that way. So I think, yeah, they're probably going to end up taking her down into that hole and see if they can get a spot where they can maybe rest and try to get some hit points back for her. So yeah, they are going to descend down into the hole. Let's see. Give them a little perception check. See if they see anything while they're down there. Wow, another 20. Yeah. Do they actually see anything down there? That's the question. I think it's likely. I mean, this thing seems like it was, the steeder looked like it was returning here, so there's probably something down here. Yep. Sure is. So as they sort of like go down, it's sort of like a warrened burrow that's been sort of like tunneled out by, we guess, these creatures. Maybe something else at some point. And down there they find twisted bars of iron, some old boots, and a faded, streaked handprint in blood. And I think that they're going to find something else down here. Let's give it a D8. Oh, 6. Yep, they find some more spiders down here. How many spiders? 6. But they're definitely smaller spiders. Oof. Do they want to try to take care of these things? That could be a dicey fight. But now they have some cover from above, so maybe they could use some spells without drawing too much attention to them. And they could get the drop on them. So I think they're going to quietly discuss. And while they do that, I am going to make them make a stealth check. Who's got the better stealth? I think they've got the same stealth. They do indeed. Alright, so it's a +1, but the DC for this is only 11, so it's not terrible. But since it's something they're both doing, I'm not sure they get advantage on it. Well, that's a fail. So, I mean, they sort of, like, pull Ott into sort of, like, this tunnel as they are, and they're trying to find a place to sort of, like, prop her up against sort of, like, the wall of the tunnel. And as they do that, and they kind of turn around and start to have this very hushed conversation about, like, okay, well, I see there's a number of them down there. And so I have this spell, and I think if we worked on this together, and then, like, as they do that, like, Ott kind of slumps over and then starts to roll down the decline of the tunnel, sort of, like, into the base sort of open area where the spiders are, like, clang, 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 bloom. And all the spiders are like, "Rrr!" Right? So yeah, not gonna get any rest. We're just gonna do it right now. No chance to plan. Alright, initiatives. Those guys go on... Where do these guys go on? 11. So our 6 leaders will go on 11. And how many do they have? They have 13, 13, 13, 13, 13. 13? 13. Alright, so they're going on 11. Ott, you're doing a great job. Just try not to get eaten. Leah is gonna have an 11, so usually let the PCs go first. And Naida's quick on the initiative so far tonight, which is good. We need that. And then we'll leave our little unconscious Noel down there at the bottom. Alright, now they're pretty clumped up. I don't think this chamber is particularly large. So, what is she going to do? She knows that this is a problem. She does not really have any sort of, like, area of effect thing. Yeah, I think she is going to move to the front, pull out her rapier to defend, and then just point a sacred flame at the nearest one. Oh, that's a fail. I'll take that. So she's going to sort of, like, take up the front as sort of like that defensive position. Oh, max damage, though. Nice. 4. No, 5. Alright. Leah's in the back. Leah's doesn't have a super great... she's got chromatic orb, right? Let me see... I forget the particulars of chromatic orb, because I almost never use it. I just don't end up taking this very often as a sorcerer or wizard. Yeah, because it only hits one creature. Like, it's fine. Like, it does good damage, and you get to choose the type of damage, which is very versatile. I just, you know, for a first level spell, when you only got a few spells, it's probably want something that's more along Burning Hands, which would make sense if this character made sense to prepare something like that, but she doesn't. So she's instead gonna firebolt that first one, I guess. And hit. Nice. For minimum damage. Alright, well, I thought we were gonna take out that first one in the first salvo, but that does not seem to be the case. Alright, they are gonna close. How many of these guys can we get on the first one? Let's ask our Oracle. First, let's ask our Oracle, can any of them get past Naida to Leah and Ott? She's specifically put herself in a place to not let that happen, so I think that's unlikely at -3. But they can climb on the walls. So that's 10. I'm not going to do the interrupt scene right now. We're kind of in the middle of a fight already. So that is a failure at 10, so no, they cannot get around her. So how many of them can actually get to her? Oh, just one. Alright, so she's just like right at the mouth of this tunnel. And she's going to hold the pass. She's got her breastplate on and her rapier out and magic going. She's going to do her thing. Alright, so we've got one that attacks on her, and pretty sure that misses. I don't think they have a +6. Do not, they have a +4. Alright, so the only one that can try to make an attack at this moment tries to make an attack and fails. That brings us back up to the top again. Naida's got one right on top of her. She's just gonna try to stab this thing. And she'll fail, unfortunately. Alright. Let's get I guess another firebolt out from Leah. 2 twos in a row. Perfect. Perfect. That's great. Oh well. Alright. Well, that means it's Spider's turn. They're gonna keep looking, I think, for a way to get around. So I'm gonna give them disadvantage. Let's see if they can find a way to get around. Nope, not this turn. Alright, so the one attacks Naida is gonna hit Naida for sure with that. I think they do a D8. 1d8 plus 2 piercing, and then 1d8 damage. Alright, so 6 points of damage, and no points of poison damage, because she's resistant to poison damage, and half of 1 is 0. Alright, but 6 points of normal bitey damage. So they are definitely going to need to rest after this. Because we're going to have multiple characters that are going to need to get healed up. Alright, that brings us back to the top. She'll go in for another stab. Maybe higher than a 2 this time? That'll do. I'll take that. Hit 4 damage was all we needed. That's going to kill one. That kills our first eater. Ugh. And that brings us to Leah. Leah, girl, you gotta have a better spell. Here's a question. We have mold earth. Can we? Is there enough loose earth in this dugout tunnel to be able to pull in a 5 cubic foot thing of soil to sort of like seal off the passageway between our group and the Cedars? Let's make a roll, an oracle roll. I did say that it was a dugout earth tunnel, but I don't think I'm going to give advantage on it, or any sort of bonus to it. I think it's just going to be a flat roll. Nope. Alright, there's not enough. So she won't do that. Oh, yep, you know what she's going to do? She's going to bring out Igni and command him to go to the front, because we have a whole bunch of people just hanging out, and see if he can do his Burning Hands thing. So that's what she'll do with her action, is bring out her familiar. And he basically has Burning Hands as his fire breath. So a 15-foot cone, that's going to hit 3 of them. Those are all sort of stacked up right there. It's deck saves. Alright, so the first one fails and the other 2 pass. 2d6 fire. It's not great, but it's something, right? Really wish that had been a little bit higher. Alright, so this first one takes that. Next 2. I mean, it's not nothing. Not nothing. 12 points of damage is 12 points of damage. And then that thing's on a recharge. But unfortunately, Igni is up there and plenty viable to get hit. Let's see. They are going to try to push their way through again. They're going to succeed this time. The one's going to sort of push through. Well, I think to do that first, they've got to attack Igni. So attack Igni. Miss Igni somehow. Alright. How's it gonna work? Because now there's 2 people in that spot, because they're like stacked on top of each other because one can fly in this tunnel and it's spewing fire. But it misses. I guess they won't move through this time, but as soon as they can get one of them moved, they will be able to. Because I forgot we brought another character up there to kind of plug in the hole at the end of the tunnel. And the one that can actually get to Naida will miss. Barely. Right? Oh, nope, that's a hit. It's +4 to hit. Alright. She takes another hit. Ooh, that's not good. Alright, that goes to 10 points of damage. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, it's bad. It's gotten real bad. It's went bad. Went real bad real fast. Oh no. And some poison damage. And 1 point of poison damage. Ugh. Oh, and that's dumb. No, she would use her reaction. I forgot she has parry. No, she would have used her reaction. What was I sitting at? 14? Right? I think that's right. Yeah, no, sorry. She uses her reaction to parry that gives her a +2 to AC. Because it was right on the nose. That puts us in a much better position. Alright, back at the top. Ooh, she's a little wary about taking one of those hits again, though. Is this the time to do it? I feel like this is the time to do it. So she is going to cast Enlarge on herself. She'll do her Enlarge, so she's going to roar and fill up this entire sort of cave entrance that usually one of the larger siegers comes in through. Now that does cost her action. She can't do anything else. But that's what she's going to do as her action. Leah will take a pot shot. The flame bolt. Ooh, that'll hit. Oh, good damage too. 5. That one in the front still up. Can Igni do anything? Igni can scratch at that guy, I think. Let's see if Igni's thing recharges. It's not. We don't have any non-magical flames going on. Yeah, so we'll just take the claw rake, I guess. Just kind of slash at it with its sort of like fiery claws and hit. So, great job. It's D4, right? Yep, D4 +3. 6 points of damage, which I believe is enough to kill that thing. So it rips through one of the cedars, which will give it enough room to disengage. It's going to, move without having to disengage. And move back, and it's going to fly back behind Leah and kind of wait for its power to recharge, probably. And it's lighting up, and it's shedding, I think, probably dim light, because they don't need bright light. But it's definitely lighting up this cavern. Now it's the cedars. Alright. So, the cedars, again... one of these things is probably going to try to... They also have the same thing, don't they? They have sticky leg. No, that's not going to work. None of these creatures are small. It could have worked on Igni. I should have done that on Igni. Actually, that's what one of them's going to try to do. One of them's going to try to spend their turn to get past Chunk and Naida. I'm going to give him sort of like an acrobatics check to sort of like climb upside down around her. It's going to be an opposed roll, but I think he's probably going to get it. Yeah. So climbs around and kind of starts scuttering down towards Igni. So now there's one that's sort of... So there's Leah and Igni in the back, and then there's one Steeder, and then there's Naida, and then there's the two up there. And that one of them's going to come in to fill the gap. They will now get advantage because they have gang up. And somehow miss. Alright, that works. So back to the top, Naida. And I think it's going to whip around and try to stab this thing again now. It also has advantage. She also has advantage. Ugh. What's her bonus to hit? Because her AC is only 12. She might have hit it. No, that's an 11, not 12. We needed one more. One more. Alright. I was trying to get that enlarged extra weapon die. That doesn't seem to be working for us. Ooh, get this monster right up on her. What is Lee's gonna do? Bunk it with her staff, I guess. Or at least try. She has advantage. I'll take the 19 on the die. That'll work. Cracks it for 2 points. It's not nothing. I wish it had been a little bit more than 2 points of damage. 2 points of damage. That's alright. It's alright. That was her. So we get a recharge. Yeah, we do get a recharge. Okay, but he can't use it right now unless he's gonna barbecue Naida if he tries to do that. He will instead use his claw rate from right here. Gonna miss with an 11. Dang. I won again. Come on. Bad guys. One's gonna try to grapple up Igni. Somehow gonna miss. With a 10, because I'm pretty sure his AC is like 11. 13, actually. Alright, so that one's done, and then we only have one that can get to Nadia, but will hit Nadia for a pitiful 3 points of damage. I mean, I'm not making it fun, we really needed that, but there's some poison damage coming as well. And an extra point of poison damage. She continues to sort of hold her ground. She's up there in the front. She's going to turn around and stab the one that's sort of between them, so she can get the advantage. That's better. Finally hits it. 2d8. 6. So 7 points. Is that enough to kill it? No, it's got one more hit point. Really? Ugh. Alright, Leah. You gotta kill this guy. I mean, luckily that will hit. There's no way that can kill him. Which is going to take out the one that was in the middle. So now Igni can float back up to the front and see if he can hit all three of those again with a nice little fricassee. Let's get some dex saves. Ooh, that's definitely 2 fails. 2 fails and a pass. It's 2d6, right? 2d6 fire. 2 fails and a pass. Alright. 7 points, 7 points, 3 points. Now, at this point, they are making quite a bit of noise. I'm going to give them advantage here on the sort of like wandering monster roll. Because rolling 1 is bad, so we want to roll high. So I'm going to give them advantage because they are underground, so the light's not really causing too much of a problem. Really just the sounds, but I'm sure they're probably hearing sounds of these monsters moving around down here anyways. Ooh, thank goodness, right? That's a 1. So we'll go with that 3. Whew. Really didn't want another combat slamming into this thing. It's the Steeder's turn, right? Yep. So we just have... Is one going to be able to... Well, one of them is obviously going to try to grab Igni. Let's do that first. And fail to grab Igni again. Can the second one get up there now? Yes. Alright, so the second one's coming in and it's going to attack Naida. Ooh, and hit her. Alright, for 6 points of normal damage. Oh, she's definitely not going down, but she's getting close. And, oh, 4 points of poison. Alright, that's back up at the top. I mean, the rapier's been working really well. She does still have somebody next to her, so that does mean she will get the gang up for flanking. 12 on the die is what we needed. 6, 7, 8 points of damage. Which I think we'll take that one out. Yeah. So we're down to 2. Alright, at this point, well, Leah's gonna fire off a firebolt. And hit. And knock that one out. So we have one Steeder left. Igni's up there. Will Igni get his fire back? Probably not. Or he does. Alright, let's get a dex save. He spews more fire. Alright, that one does save. Wow. Max damage. Too bad it was halved. Down to 6. Alright, 04. Alright, does this thing run? I think that's extremely likely that it's gonna run. But let's just ask the Oracle anyways. Yeah, that thing books out of here. But we'll get a couple parting shots. That one definitely hits. I think there's no way it can't kill it with that. Yeah. Alright, the last one tries to scurry off into the darkness of this underground burrow, and Naida just skewers it through the abdomen, or I guess thorax. Ugh. And then does her Mario style. It comes back down to size. Alright, well that sounds like we're probably gonna need to take a short rest. Ugh. Okay. Everybody's going to bed down. Does Leah have... Oh, Leah doesn't have an alarm. I thought Leah had an alarm. I was gonna say she could cast alarm real quick. But she is not as hurt as everybody else. So she may hang on to hers for right now. She may not spend any hit dice. Yeah, she's not really going to have anything that she needs to do around here. Oh, you know what? That's one of the things I didn't prepare. That's okay. We can do that live. So everybody's going to... Or 2 of them are going to sit down and take a rest, and Leah's going to sort of scuffle around the chamber and find out what she can find out. So first thing we need to do is be like, is something going to interrupt that rest? Hopefully not. Fingers crossed. Woo, that's very close. It's only one away, but one's enough. Alright. Perfect. Nobody interrupts their rest. So Leah's going to have a poke around. Let's do everybody's healing dice real quick. Leah's not going to do anything. Ott's going to kick back up. I think technically she only comes back up to 1 at the end of a short rest. But I'm going to go ahead and let her spend hit dice. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and let her do it, because otherwise I would just wait down here another hour, which seems a bit silly. Actually, you know what? No, it doesn't work like that, does it? No, it does. I'm pretty sure Mage Armor works like that. I'm actually going to let Leah cast major armor on her. Well, then she couldn't do the short rest. And she'd have to do the short rest. Yeah, I'm okay with that, I think. So she would have had to take the short rest too, but that's okay. To cast some mage armor on which is going to give her 2 more better armor class than what she has. Because she only has basic leather armor. Which gives her some better armor. Note to self. It's time we get into some money. And Naida's going to spend some hit dice. She has 2. She gets X as well. So she gets 6 back. Go ahead and spend the other one. Alright, 13. So 17. Almost back up to full. But, unfortunately, we're bent out. And then Leah casted a spell, but I'm going to let her use Arcane Recovery, where she will get back that one spell she cast, basically. And now they're going to loot the room. So now we have to check again. See if there's any monsters here. Hey, what do you know there are? Lovely. Things have been going so swimmingly, too. What could possibly go wrong? Oh, good. Oh. That was a number I wanted to be very low, and it's very high. So as they're sort of finishing their rest and they're starting to make a bit more noise kind of going through things, there is sounds coming in their direction. Humanoid sounds. And you can probably see some light that's like... So the iron bars are next to a section that looks like it leads into the keep proper. Like this is sort of like a output sluice or something that was into sort of maybe an old sort of like natural cistern or something that was, or maybe just an undercroft that was being used, and now it's like a natural sort of area that the cedars had sort of burrowed into. But so there are iron covering sort of like on a stairwell. But those iron bars have been ripped off. And now we have people, seems like, coming down the stairs. A handful of them. We know there's 4 of them. Let's see. Do they notice them in time? That's not a very good roll. That is not a very good roll at all. It's only a +3, so that's 11. Oh, that is actually the DC of the room. We just narrowly. So I think like probably Leah's next to the door as sort of like the firelights come down. She's like, oh shit. So she kind of ducks and they find some things to hide behind. Is there anything to hide behind that isn't spider carcass at this point? I'm just gonna ask the Oracle. Yes, okay. So there are maybe some like stalagmites or just sort of large boulders or something that's sort of underground here. Maybe some old stuff, old storage stuff that they can sort of hide behind. And yeah, we're just gonna let them make a stealth check. Just gonna be flat. Yeah, well. Did they get advantage? Because they don't need light, but the guards need light, and it's definitely dark in here. No, I'm just gonna make it flat. Well, that's fail. Alright, didn't matter anyways. How would you roll 3? Won't matter a lot. So, yeah, they come down, they're hiding. Who is the offender here? Let's find out. It's Leah. Alright, Leah, what do you do to sort of expose yourself to everybody? I think she drops her staff. I think she's, like, clutching her staff. So, what? Just fumbles and it's like, clang, 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 clang. Just wood on stone floor, echoing in the chamber. I think the guards flip around. What the heck was that? And are slowly coming in their direction. Oh god, oh god, what do we do? What do we do? Yeah, Leah's gonna jump into action. She's gonna jump up and go, aha! And pick up her staff and be like, point to, like, the surface, an area, like, right above the guards' heads and be like, grease! And she will cast grease above them. So it will fall down on top of them. Primarily because they are carrying torches, which it will light on fire. Yeah. 10 foot square. How many of these guys is she gonna get in there? I'm gonna say this is like a 1d3 plus 1. She's gonna get at least 2 of them in there. Alright, so she gets 3 of them. So 3 of them are in the grease, 1 of them's not. But as it falls down, it's going to fall onto their torches, which is going to ignite the grease. Which I think is just going to do some basic damage, and then it's going to have some ongoing damage. Let's say 2d6 plus 2. Start off. Wow, rolled well. Alright, so they take 13 damage up front. And we're going to go ahead and mark this off her list. And let's get some guards going. Going right back into another session of combat, which, you know, makes up for all the sessions where we don't really have a lot of combat, where we just kind of walk around and look at stuff. Alright, and they take 15 damage. But let's make our update. Conscious Ott and hopped off. Chased and killed covered Ott. And they found Burrow next to tower. Inside they got found by a group of patrolling guards, which Leah cast grease on, and probably going to be cooking those guys. That's cheery. Here's our guards. Yeah, that was like... some of these guys don't really have... They have 11 hit points. So, she may have just smoked. And there's 4 of them. She may have just smoked 3 of them. Because I don't think... There's not a dex save or anything for grease, right? It's just a fall prone. If she cast it above them, what are they going to do? Try to get out of the way? Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll give them the dex save, and if they fall prone, they'll take the full damage. I guess I'll give them the dex save right now. Fail, succeed, fail. Alright, so 2 of those guys just got smoked right out the gate. So we'll take 2 of them off the board immediately as she Kentucky Fried Chickens them. And this guy took half damage, so he takes 6. Yeah, and I guess we get some more initiative. They go on 11. Most things do. Leah. Yep. Yep. And Ott. Don't think she has a +3. Double check. So we'll go afterwards. But hey, what do you know? Looks pretty much like it was supposed to. I'm pretty sure Leah's first. Alright, so that's the start of combat. Leah had hit some with that grease. This dude's still on fire. I should point that out. Unless he's gonna try to put himself out, he's covered in grease fire. He's like stuntman running with the fire suit on. I can only imagine that they are screaming bloody murder, so the stealth aspect's probably kind of gone by now. You probably get away with it when it was the spiders making a bunch of noise, but when there's guards screaming, and probably the smell of cooked, burned hair and flesh is going to start coming up through the stairwell. Yeah, probably not any good. So she is instead going to turn around and firebolt the one that's untouched. Ah, that'll hit. Big money. Yeah, 5. Alright. Now you know. Well, one of those guys is on fire. And the other one is not. Let's get a dex save from the other guy. Oh, that's fail. Yep. Ooh. This combat gonna be over real quick, I feel like. Alright, let's see. I have some D6 fire damage. 2. Alright, 4. Guard will attempt to put himself out. I think that's gonna be a stop, drop, and roll check. Dexterity. I don't think he's gonna do it. Not with a 10. Dang. Alright. That makes it Ott scale. Ott just gonna walk up and try to finish the job, I guess. Yeah, that's gonna hit. The spear's an 8, right? I don't use a lot of spears in D&D. I like the idea of using them, I just don't often use them. 8+2. Yep, alright. And stifles him. Stabs into the screaming on fire guard, and he stops flailing around. Well. They were in the middle of looting, so I guess I'll go ahead and give them the loot. Or do they want to take a... Alright. I just want to try to figure out how much of the loot roll should they get. Should they get all the loot roll? Yes, okay. You don't have to argue with me. Alright, I did not come up with the loot rolls ahead of time. So, let's just do that. We'll just do that live right now. Here in the D&D DM's notebook. Of course, if you want to see what's in this, I went over the whole thing. It's up on YouTube now. You can see it, how I went through it. And what I put into it, why I put the things into it that I put into it, and the things that I don't put into it. Alright. So, there's 3 of them, so we'll get 3 different things, potentially. 2. Pocket contents. How many pocket contents? 4. Okay. Alright. So obviously some of this is probably... I'm running out of room. I've got this drink here. I need to move this drink. So I can use the space. Put that down. Alright, so obviously some of these things are not going to be coming from our burned individuals. Things that include, like, the first thing that we find. Treasure notes. Okay. Handkerchief. Okay. Yeah, pocket contents are just like weird things you'll find in people's pockets. 6 and 2. Oh, a wax tablet. That's actually super useful. So I am wanting to make a short list video about some of my favorite sort of homebrew mundane items, and the wax tablets on that list. Actually, a wax diptych. So if you imagine, it's like, use that. Like imagine sort of almost like an e-reader size, sort of like notebook. Let me get a better form factor that makes sense for that. Here we go. So I've got 2. So imagine something that's more like this notebook size, memo pad. And then the diptych is, it opens like a book, and each side has sort of like hardened wax in it, in a small frame, and then you have like a stylus to like make notes in it, and then you can rub it out. It's like an erasable notepad, which is technology that's been around since Romans or Greeks, one of the two. But it's super useful. I try to put in, give it to every D&D character that I have, because it's way cheaper than buying books and paper for just taking notes. And you can always erase it. It's waterproof, right? It's not heat proof, but neither is paper. So we got a wax tablet. We're gonna get 4 of these, so we got some other options. Oh, 6 and 6. Ooh, some sort of pass or papers. What kind of writ do we think that would be? You know what? I'm gonna use my let's use our D20 chart to see if it can give us some ideas. And I roll 5. Ooh, something for an existing faction or group. Ooh, this could be a very interesting one. Is this because we have some different factions and groups, right? Under our factions, I think we have. I mean, the Noble's Bodyguard seems like the obvious one, right? As a faction, but let's just roll for it because we know it's an existing faction. I mean, yeah. All right. All right. So it's some sort of like a. Some sort of writ. It's probably a writ from that noble. Oh, that could be very useful later if we have to rescue the heir, and we have some sort of writ that says that we can show the people that shows that we're part of. Bodyguards. So that'd be really interesting. We might find a real use for that later. So I like these pocket contents. You can gives you the opportunity to add those weird little things in there that you might not necessarily think of. Like I wouldn't have thought to feel like the bodyguards would have some sort of writ or something that shows off who they are. You know, some sort of like pass. And a knife. Found a knife. Okay. So, obviously these papers, a lot of this stuff probably did not come from the burned people. Now, one of those guys wasn't really burned, so that guy probably is the person who had the papers on it. And probably, maybe the knife. But maybe the wax tablet or the handkerchief or something, maybe some previous dinner guests for the Cedars in this burrow. But that's what they found. Alright. But we still have 2 more rolls, which is the thing. Kind of get quite a bit of stuff down here. We're paying, if we roll well. Bum, bum, bum. That's a 9. Some sort of trade good. So there's some trade goods down here. Ooh, 18. Some sort of religious item. So it is to say that basically these guys right here, these pocket contents, they have negligible like monetary wealth for the most part. Like sure, you could probably sell the knife to somebody for maybe like a couple coppers, because it's not a weapon, it's a knife, it's like a tool. But now we know for certain that Ott will have a knife. Right, and I assume that, my assumption is that everybody in that sort of anachronistic time period has a knife because it's a tool and it's a method of self-defense if you need it. So, I mean, most people had that on them, especially if they were out and about. But the religious item is the first thing that we come across that's going to actually have some amount of money tied to it. And be worth Not much. It's worth 2 copper. So a religious item is probably like a small sort of like stone carved like little thing. Just gonna say a small stone idol. Right, not really worth anything. Sometimes that happens, especially at these lower levels. The way that the table that I use is that you don't come across a ton of super useful things, but for the right person might want to pay more for that, especially if you can weave a good story around it. And we got one more treasure roll because we got 3 people in here. And 11 more trade goods. What kind? Oh, some medicine. Worth also 2 copper. Not a lot. Well, I did not roll very well on our monetary values for things, but it kind of goes that way sometimes. So, medicine could be useful, maybe at some point. Maybe. Those are sort of things that I like to improve when I'm DMing specifically for other people. To have those sort of things so they can, you know, when they come up to some sort of situation, they can go through that and be like, hey, we got this medicine from, you know, this place like 2 adventures back. Would that be helpful? It's like, oh, well, you're trying to, you know, this person's got the poison condition. Maybe, yeah. And have, you know, allow them to, like, make a roll that they might otherwise not really be able to do something about in that time. In that point. So I like those little things. But they're probably just like a tea, like a little bit of tea or something like that. It's probably nothing very, very exciting. Alright, well, we got that, and we have filled this guy out. Bada bang. Perfect. Alright. Where are we off to next? So like I said, that is sort of a dead end in here that they kind of look around, they say. That there doesn't appear to be any other way out except for, you know, that stairway that leads up. Where are they gonna go? I guess... Here's the thing is that I want them to search for... I think that they would take the time to search for any sort of, like, hidden passages, hidden doors, things of that nature. But the problem is they just made a whole bunch of noise. And I think they want to kind of keep moving. So yeah, I think that they are going to, at this point, sneak up the stairway. Because that seems to be the only passageway that's leading to them. Or do they want to go out and go back around? Ooh, that's fair. That's a fair choice. And maybe retreat at this point. Yeah, a lot of this could look like a spider attack, maybe? They could maybe play that off. Actually, I will let them do sort of a charisma stealth. So I'm gonna let them use stealth, which we have somebody trained in, and somebody that's got a better charisma. I guess it wouldn't really matter. It would be the same bonus. Well, I'll let them combine the rolls. I'll let it be a +5. Because I do think that that's a cool thing to maybe try to do. And they have people helping them, so +5. Yeah, 16. They think they have put together a pretty... By moving some of the bodies around the cedars and the guards, it looks like maybe there was just... Maybe they got into it and then died, because we have the rapier, which is a piercing weapon, and other than fire and the spear that's a piercing weapon, only somebody who's really going to spend some time is probably going to notice the difference that these wounds are made by weapons and not by the cedars, sort of like fangs biting into people. And then, yeah, I think they're going to boogie out. They are taking time. They are taking time to rearrange the room. That does mean that we need to roll for a random encounter. Come on. Okay, good. So they're gonna slowly slink back out. And go back around. Which way are they gonna go around? Yep, I think at this point they're gonna have to. They're either gonna have to sally back into the camp. Which means that they probably need to go check out the camp. So they're gonna sneak around. They don't have any lights on them again. They're gonna be outside the firelight because it's very easy to see people around the fire from far off. To see, does this look like maybe the guards have thinned out a little bit, and maybe this will be. There's a better likelihood they can either sneak by and get into the keep and it's undercroft proper, or if it comes down to a fight, that it's going to be something they're not going to get smoked in. Well, that's a perception check, number one. Both those are pretty good. Is the... looking at the wrong thing. Unsure. There are lots of people moving back and forth. There's a lot of shadows being flung around. Unsure whether that they failed the perception DC, so kind of dicey. Might be okay, might not be okay. Maybe go check out the recreation field instead. If we do that, we gotta roll another wonder check. Yeah, we're good. We're gonna do the same thing, but over the recreation field. Check out what's going on over there. That's a much better roll. And a much lower DC, too. Yeah, we're gonna hit that, for sure. Alright, does this look like a good place? Like, does this look opportunistic for them? And that's just a clear roll from here. Yeah, okay, it does. So, who is out here? Ooh, we see... perfect, actually. They're kind of sneaked up and they're looking out there, and then there's, you know, more... It doesn't seem like they're playing as much now as much as having a conversation. And as they sort of draw closer, like, Nadia, like, reaches out and grabs Leah's arm. Like, that's him. Who? The rival noble, whose name we still don't have. Kind of points it out. And you can see one person that's sort of like standing away, clearly kind of, now start paying attention, kind of addressing the rest of the guards that are there. And then they're going to break off, and is that shadow dancer going to come in our direction? I think that's somewhat unlikely because we're coming from the back side, and I don't think that our person there... I'm saying Shadow Dancer. It's not actually Shadow Dancer, that's just the stat block we're using. The Rival Noble. So I think that's -3. I think he's probably headed the other way. Or maybe this way. Maybe this way. Maybe right now. Alright. Well, it looks like we're maybe gonna be able to set up a little ambush for our Rival Noble here. And maybe we'll cut to the chase pretty quickly. Not how I was expecting that to go. This is always fun, even when set things up for the solo game. I keep things loose enough that where things are going to surprise you. Not where I thought we were going to sort of encounter our rival noble. I figured that would be kind of later on. But I kind of left a sort of a scaling roll table, and that just kind of ended up being how it went. So, very interesting. But let's go ahead and hop back in. Pop bam. There we go. So, yeah. That's sort of where we are. Now, they're kind of in the nothing area. Now, we know that there's some broken ground here in stone and things like this. Actually, at this point, let's find out. Is that torch that was in the pit still burning? Because they would have had to pass that on the way here. I think that's 50-50. No. Alright. So they could maybe hide in that pit and maybe get a little ambush going. So yeah, I think they're going to slink off and kind of do that. We'll let them roll for stealth. I'll give them an advantage because they are kind of lying in ambush, but they still only have the +1. That's a pretty good roll, though. I think that's going to be good enough to overcome what sort of the DC for the area is. And usually I do that a lot faster than trying to find individual monsters, sort of what their passive perception is. Just use the room DCs. Unless there's a very specific reason, like why that wouldn't work, like a dragon's true sight or tremor sense or something like that. Which I might just give them disadvantage on the stealth checks instead. So yeah, they are hiding in the pit, waiting for our friend to come by. And they roll pretty well, so they are in ambush. Is this guy just gonna fall straight in? I don't think so. I'm pretty sure his stat block has dark vision. So I'll give him a basic perception check. Oh, I mean, maybe he'll just blow it, though. Not paying attention, thinking about something else. Walks up to the lip. I guess let's give him a dexterity saving throw to stop from falling in there, which he'll save. So he kind of slips and slides and kind of falls down and hangs onto the edge of the pit. And they're gonna get a free round. Well, he'll be surprised technically. Not a free round of attacks. That's not how it works in 5e. Despite liking that system much better. That there's just a free round that goes around. But all right, let's look at the Shadow Dancer real quick. Mordenkainen's, I know for sure. Shadow Dancer is 2 words, not 1. There we go. There's the Shadow Dancer. Alright, but this is going to kick us off, so let's get some initiatives. We'll do Leah, Ott, Naida. Does Naida's got a +1, right? Naida, despite the situation, Naida is the only one who's actually going to go before. Actually, don't remember what I rolled, if Leah was first or Ott was first. Doesn't really matter. We're going to go after the Shadow Dancer. Alright, let's just square up our notes. So we made the room look like it was a fight with the spiders. Left and leaving the recreation field. And this guy, I guess, has not walked around this side yet of the building. And just kind of falls in the hole. And, sometimes even the quickest people are a little slow, right? So, yeah, that's where we are. So let's kick it off. Naida's up first. Well, we know this is an important person. Now, I assume that this was a pretty standard, like, 10 by 10 fit. 10 by 10 fit. 10 by 10 by 10 feet cube. Basically, standard sort of pit trap kind of thing. So I don't think... Well, this guy's hanging because he blew it, but he's just hanging on now. So yeah, she could just run up and stab him real quick. I think she's gonna do that. She's got friends around her. I'm pretty sure that his AC is not 10. Not gonna check it, but wow, terrible roll. Leah's right there. I think Leah's going to... Ooh, that'll be really screwy. I'm gonna see if she's gonna do that. This is gonna be probably like an Arcana check, I think. She's gonna like gather up. She's gonna use Mold Earth to like gather up soil and bring it on and sort of like lock this noble's arms under 5 cubic feet of soil. So it's kind of stuck there. So I think it's gonna be... I'm gonna have her make an Arcana check, and I think that's gonna set the DC for him, and he'll have, I think, a Strength check to just sort of break out of it. So let's set the Arcana check. It's not bad. That's an 18. And let's get, what's this guy look like? Oh, Strength, not one of his great spots. Oh no. Oh no, do we just... Oh no, he's gonna get sandbagged, isn't he? He's gonna get sandbagged, isn't he? Oh no, technically he would have had a chance to go. Oh no. No. He's surprised. Sure. That's why I didn't go. Yeah, so she does that. That's pretty rock solid. So... As far as we can tell, restrained right now. Ott's gonna pop up and give it the little poke. Which I think I forgot to do last time, but Ott actually has multi-attack. So she gets 2 stabbies with the spear. That's the first one. I think that's gonna hit. What's their AC? 15. Oh yeah, that'll hit. And the second one, it's even better. Nice. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, right? Oof, 17 points of damage. How many hit points does this freaking guy have? Oh, he's got 71. Yeah, these guys have plenty of hit points. Minus 17. Oh, that's where my math's gonna fail me. So that would be 50... 54, right? I think that's right. If it's not right, let me know. But I'm pretty sure 54 is right. And that's back to the top. Naida again. Stabbing looks pretty good. We're getting our stabs on. Well, we're trying to. I don't think she has a +5, does she? No, she has +4. Ugh. Worthless. You know, Naida, you miss the easy ones and you hit the hard ones. Just make the easy rolls, please, so that way we don't have to make the difficult rolls later. Alright, but that will make it our boy's turn. Unfortunately, our boy has Shadow Jump. That's right, I forgot about that. So, that thing that Leah did was not going to be that useful. It's all in dim line darkness. So it can jump anywhere in 30 feet. Question. It has to get into melee, and that there's really probably doesn't want to be in that pit though. I think they're gonna kind of shadow jaunt out of there, and they're gonna start booking it back towards where they left the guards, and start yelling out, "Intruders! Intruders!" And now we're just 3 schmucks in a pit, looking real stupid. Yeah. I don't know if we can do anything else about that. Jumped and moved, so it's, you know, 60 feet away. They can climb out at half speed pretty easily. So Ott will do that. She'll drop her spear and pull out her bow as part of the attack action. And fire a couple up because it's right at the edge of her dark vision. But certainly within the realm of her bow. For 2 misses, arrows go flying off into the wind of the night. I don't think I mentioned that earlier. We still have a bunch of high winds that are still blowing stuff all over the place. Like that's part of the thing that's keeping people from hearing things, is that there's just sort of like this constant howl of the wind in this night. This sort of like open area. Alright. Great job, Ott. Great job. I didn't do Leah, but Leah's gonna get up and firebolt. Natty 20. Alright. 13 points of damage, fire damage. Slaps this guy between the shoulder blades with the firebolt. Ugh. And Naida will also pull herself out of the hole. She can still see this guy fine. And will gonna get a dex save from him. He's pretty good at dex saves though. Not that good though. So he gets some radiant damage, max radiant damage right to the back as he's still calling for the guards, running for his life. They did pretty good. They're doing pretty good against this guy. He really hasn't even attacked them yet. He's trying to get away from them. It is Shadow Dancer's turn. And Shadow Dancer is going to jump. Here's a question. Here's an oracle question. Can he see like a window on the Ruined Keep or some place where he can get like inside very quickly? I think there's 50-50 shot at that. No? Okay. So he's just going to jump and keep running into the night. So he moves another 60, which means that Ott and Leah can no longer see him in the dark, but Naida can. I think she probably hustles them on, like, keep going, keep going. You can still see him. Just keep moving. So they'll move 30. That puts them in 60 again. It's probably their last range to try to make a shot at him. So Leah will take a shot. Miss. And Ott will take 2 shots. Ooh, and both of those are going to hit. D8s. 8, 10, 12 points of damage. Not bad. 20. Right? Wait, where was I? Yeah, 21. 21 points of damage from 2 shots to the back. Naida will move up and Sacred Flame again. It's not gonna be enough to kill him. He's gonna get away in the next round. Yep, doesn't hit him. They're making a bunch of a commotion. Are people coming this way, audibly? Not yet. They can keep chasing him at this point, but they're gonna lose him in the dark. And considering this guy can teleport, I think there's no chance that they're gonna find him. So plan. We got a few seconds to really think about where we want to go. Where do we want to go? I think we go in the opposite direction where he's going, because we didn't get a chance to knock him out completely. So we made a bunch of sound underground. We made a bunch of sound above ground. And there's a call for the guards, so they're definitely coming to that one. We do a little reverse around. Run back down that tunnel and up those staircases now, while people are leaving that campsite. I think that's probably the best option. I think that's what they're going to do. So they start hoofing it in the other direction. And as they're doing that, anybody else going to come across them? Nope. I'm gonna give them another run because they're technically going through like 2 different areas at this point. Nope. Alright. They arrive down at the bottom of the stairs. They hop over in the remaining grease that's still smoldering fire, and the smell of burned flesh is very disgusting. And start thump, 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 kind of moving up those stairs. I think they're going to throw themselves into a stealth as they get towards the top of those stairs. Kind of buckle down and see what they can see. Well, they're not very stealthy. Did they at least see anything? Yeah. Alright, so there's definitely people in this area. Let's, who's in this area? 5. I have conflicting notes. I have 3 or 1s. And let's figure that out real quick. Alright, so we got 3 players at level 2, and we need to add a thug. Mess something up in my notation, and a spy. Yeah, that'd be a deadly fight already for them. Yeah, I don't know why I have a 3 in there, because that definitely is not something we should be doing. A spy and 2 thugs, so these are some more chunky boys than some of the guards we were fighting earlier. So we got a thug. Oh good, they're on next door pages. And again, they're not being very stealthy, so I don't think anybody's gonna get surprised out of it. Like, they hear them coming and they hear them getting ready, and I think they're just kind of burst onto the scene, and we're just gonna go barreling headfirst into another combat while they have the advantage. One of the things I do want to do is we want to update our nose. Got away, calling for the guards. And then what happened, we ran and up the stairs. Guard encampment. And it does look like most of those people have taken off. I can spell encampment, yeah. There you go. So we're just gonna take him and we're gonna put him down here as honorable mention, because I don't know if he's gonna have a chance to have any rest before we see him again. If not, he'll have those same hit points. But we do have a spy. We do have some thugs. The spy goes on 12 and has 27 hit points, and our thugs go on 10 and have 32 hit points. Alright. I got Naida up first, so where's she going? At the bottom. Leah? Also at the bottom. Ott. I think that puts Ott right in the middle of them. Yep. Okay. Ott's gonna go here. And then down there. Alright, well, somehow we didn't beat a 12 initiative. That's always lovely. On the roll low initiative side. Alright, Spy's gonna go first. Sees him. What's the spy gonna do? There's quite a bit of stuff up here, right? This is an encampment. There's a whole bunch of stuff up here. There's the stuff. You know, I've got some tents, got some other stuff. There's got an oil lamp, an overturned armoire. It's just kind of have a bunch of stuff that are kind of up and around all over the place. I know that's the audience chamber. That's what I'm thinking. And those stairs that they're on continue up as well. Forgot to mention that. To another floor above. They're on the armoire next to them. Well, I think the spy's just going to take a cunning action and try to hide. I think that's a disadvantage though, because I mean, these guys are basically looking at each other. Yeah, that's not gonna help. Probably not gonna be a big hiding encounter, even though we have two kind of hidey characters. So that doesn't really work. Pulls out a hand crossbow, and it's going to take a shot at the biggest, meanest one, which is obviously Ott. Ooh, are they within 30? I forgot the... are they within 30? I think probably. +3. The Oracle roll. Yeah, okay. So going to use that hand crossbow and take a shot at Ott. Ooh, definitely going to hit Ott. For 5 points of damage. That's something I hadn't rolled on yet. That's okay. Then it's Ott's turn. I think Ott is going to... Is this guy right next to the well? I think it's likely. That is sort of like the major feature I put in here. I'm give it a +3. No, alright. Let's just gonna see if we can bulldoze him over into the well, but that's not gonna work for her. She already has the bow out, so she's gonna just see if she can pump 2 into that spy real quick. Does a 15 hit the spy? I think so. Oh yeah. Not bad. That's 15 points of damage right off the bat. Pop, pop. 2 shots. Which takes the spy down to 12. Up to 27. Which I think is probably going to put them in running territory. But it's not their turn. It's Thug's turn. Thugs are probably going to close. I think one's obviously on Ott, and low it's on Leah, high it's on, and one on Naida. Okay. Oh right, they have pack tactics, which is going to give them gang up as well. Ooh, that's not good for us. But I don't know. We haven't said that we moved in yet, so I guess maybe they're just at the front. Maybe they're both against Odd? No. They're gonna let everybody be out and about. Kind of came out of into the camp proper, so they could see who everybody was. So against Odd, this would be not good. That's gonna hit Odd, and the one against Naida. Oh, that natural 20 is gonna hurt. Oh no, these guys have multi-attack. Technically that crits also against Ott. Ooh, that's not good. $12 points of damage against Ott. Ouch. Well, so much for those healings. Down to 1. And the other one I said was against Naida. That's gonna hit her. And the second one, probably. Also gonna hit her. Nice. At least they weren't crits. Sorry, D6s. And 8 points of damage for Naida. Alright. Yeah, probably don't want to hang out here. These guys are gonna kill us. Alright. How are we gonna get away from these guys? Speaking of, whose turn is it? So they just come in here, and those thugs come in and rock face. Let's Lee's go. Does Lee have anything that could be very useful in this? Nope. She'll snap her fingers and bring Igni back out. That's her best, with two dudes in front of him. Like him float up above Naida's little Durgar head. Do a little breath weapon. They need dex saves. Well, a pass and a fail. So 10 and 5. And this one goes down to 22. Of 32, just so I know. Naida's up there in the front. She has people in front of her. She does have advantage. She is going to try to go on that more hurt thug and push up next to Ott and go for the attack. Pretty sure that hits. The thugs aren't hard to hit, if I remember correctly. Yeah, 11. So she will hit the rapier. Skewers that guy for 7 points. 7 points of damage. Why is it 7? Whatever. Trying to make sense of the 5e math. 5e math doesn't always make sense. And where was it? I said 7 points, right? 5 plus 2. Alright, that was Naida. Back to the spy. Alright, the spy needs to make a charisma save. I don't think... I usually do sort of a roll under for them. But the spy's gonna have alright charisma thing. Whether they're gonna stay in the fight. Stays in the fight. So instead is going to reach again, take another shot. You know what? Probably gonna go after Igni. And it's gonna hit Igni, and I think Igni's only got a handful of hit points. Nope, sorry. 4 points of damage. Is that enough to take Igni out? Igni's got... No, okay. And put Igni up here. Yeah. Igni, who took 4 damage, who has 11 hit points. And I forgot that I gave Igni, he's basically got the... Oh, like the magma imps. Whatever they're called. Can't think of them names right now. Methods. It's got sort of like a fire method. So he's got more hit points than most familiars because I'm running a solo game. So I didn't want to give him just like a 1 hit point cat. That wasn't going to be very useful for Leah. And I think it's going to try to hide. Again, probably not a lot of hiding going on here. I think it pretty much needs to roll almost a natural 20 to get it done. So, nope, not hidden very well. That brings us to Ott, who's in the middle there. Can get the spy. Do we want to go after the spy or after the thugs? No, that one thug's hurt pretty bad. Go after that one thug that's hurt pretty bad. The first attack. So she'll drop her bow and pull out her spear. And that'll hit. And the second one will also hit. Okay. Good damage. Good damage. 7. And that's not great damage. 11. 11 points of damage. I was really hoping for higher than that. I was really hoping she was going to get that last. You know what? She has a bonus action, and she's going to use that bonus action to help Leia on her next attack by sort of like trying to hold one of the thugs still. Speaking of the thugs, one of them needs to make a charisma save to stay in the fight. They do not, so the one that's barely got any hit points is going to try to boogie out, which will cause a reaction from Ott, who's going to miss, and Naida, who hopefully rolls better than a 4 on the die. Yeah, 2 15s will work. Which I think will be hopefully enough to kill him. Yes. Alright, so one of them tries to run and gets cut down, and the other one's going to, loses their advantage. We'll come back against, I guess, against Ott? Right, that was the one that was on Ott. It doesn't have advantage anymore. Oof. And we'll roll low enough to not hit Ott with her 1 hit point left. Alright, that's Leia. So Leia's going to... Oh, she's got help from Ott to get advantage on this attack. And we'll hit, thanks to that. And do another 2 points of damage. Cantrips. Low-level cantrips. Ugh. They're so swingy. Alright, that was Leia. Igni, and does Igni recharge? Probably not, but let's double check. Nope. Is going to disengage and get behind Leia. No. No, that's not what he's going to do. I forgot that he has some fun stuff he can actually do here. He has the control flames cantrip. So I think he points because, right, we know that there's an oil lamp on an overturned armoire next to a well. And so he's just going to control flames and move that onto the armoire in the well and just light that whole thing on fire. That's what he's going to do as his action. Fire! Fire! So yeah, and then the fire starts to break out. Oh. I'm not sure that's helpful, but it's definitely chaotic. And that feels like something the method would do. So yeah, that's what the method does. I don't think the method's going to try to duck at this point. I'm going to try to duck out of combat. I think he's going to stay where he is, because he's still got one guy next to him. Which makes it Nadia's turn, and Naida. Let's get her attack in. It's got that guy right there. I guess give him a stab, right? Oh, you have the advantage. Okay, that's gonna hit. Nice, 9 points damage. Alright, officially at half. Nice. Alright, Spy's turn. Spy needs to try to see if they're gonna stay in the fight. They do. They'll attempt to try and hide again. They'll fail at that. They'll take a pot shot at... We got 3 people in the front. Oh, yeah, we have a D4. So it'll go... Ott, Igni, Naida, Leia. Alright. Another shot against Igni. Really doesn't like that method for some reason. Other than setting fires on in their general area, probably. In their vicinity. I'm not sure if that's gonna hit. Uh, 15. Yeah, that will hit. That's right on the money. Or no, sorry, it's 13. 6. Gets hit for 6 points of damage. Probably doesn't want to hang out up here anymore. Probably wants to fly away. Get desummoned. And that is the spy. Ott's gonna go. Ott's going to throw some attacks at this guy. Oh, sorry. You have advantage. Luckily. Ooh. Oh, well, the thugs are easy to hit. They only have an 11 AC. That'll hit. And a second attack. Yeah. Alright, so... +4. 17, that'll do it. Nice. So, takes out the thugs. And for the first time, right, this is episode 19, and for the very first time, Ott actually gets to use, like, her special null ability, which is Rampage. Which means that, right, as a bonus action after killing a creature in melee on her turn, Ott can move 15 and make a bite attack. Well, that's a bonus action. So she can just move and then use the Rampage to go after, to close the rest of the distance and go after the spy. So she'll get right up on the spy and make a bite attack against him. Oh, Nate's not gonna hit though. Try step. Get the chompers on him. She's a big old nasty old lady. Alright, that was Ott's turn. That makes it Leah's turn, I believe. Yeah, for some reason the spy keeps making... I mean, they have a pretty good charisma, so they stay in the fight for a while. Yeah, just firebolt him, yes. Nope, gonna miss. Naida's going to... Let's get a dex save from that guy. The spy. That's probably gonna pass. And actually, I think that just passes on face value. Alright, well that's a whole lot of nothing. Did Igni get his stuff back? No. So he's gonna float back to Leah and get desummoned, and he'll be out of the fight for now. But then down here in this sort of holding pattern that we have for the creatures. Oh, it's the spy's turn. Well, the spy's not in a great situation. Now it's 3-on-1, so now I'm going to give them sort of like advantage on this roll, because they are way outnumbered now. 16. Unfortunately, I think 16 is their score. Yeah. So, still in the fight. Ready to take it to the bitter end, I guess. Has the hand crossbow in their hand. Oh, but can make 2 melee attacks. Probably drop the hand crossbow, pull out the swords, and go after Ott, which unfortunately, I'm pretty sure, can just straight up knock Ott down. Hits. Which they're going to. Well, it won't be enough damage to kill her, but it is enough to knock her out again. Dang. Ott's down for the count again. But had to drop the hand crossbow and now has that. Does it really want to close on 2 other combatants? I mean, they made the save, right? Or they could stop and pick up the crossbow, but they haven't had a very good job of hiding. They're just going to run in and try to get the second attack. Let's see, if it's low, it's against Leah. Against Naida. Alright. And miss. Alright, that brings us to Ott, who will now make a death save again. Hey! Just when I think I'm out, they bring me back in. Ott wakes up. Hops up. Can she close the distance? We're playing very amorphous. So can she close the distance? I think there's a 50-50 shot. No. Alright, well she can't close the distance. And she dropped her longbow already. Yeah, she didn't really have any other weapons with her. Just a spear. She is just gonna huck the spear. Well, that person's got a hand crossbow. She can't use a hand crossbow. She's gonna huck her spear at her. With a 23 to hit, I think she's gonna hit the spy with the spear. Yeah, for 7 points of damage. Just right through the back. Ouch. I really wish I had taken her out. That would have been a much cooler death. But it is what it is. Turns around, doesn't think that Ott's a threat anymore. Ott sort of like comes to and gets up and lifts her spear and just chucks it. Just right between the shoulder blades of the back. Ugh. But that will make it Leah's turn. Leah is not... She stayed in the back, so she's not in melee with this spy, so she's just gonna hit him again. Or miss. Thanks, Leah. Narita. Really, guys? Really? I don't think her plus is very good, right? +4, yeah. Nope. It's enough to hit a thug, not enough to kill the spy, though. I really thought the spy was going to be the first one to go down. Because he got wrecked on the first round, but ended up being going to be the last person up in this combat. Alright, let's... Wow. Nope, still in the fight. still gonna do it. In the blood craze now. Has been wailing on there. They're gonna keep doing that. Pretty sure that will hit her. Oh, I'm gonna make 2 attacks. I forgot. For how much damage? 4 points, right? Yeah. Alright, so I'm just gonna take 4 points of damage. Not good. And there's a second attack. But thankfully misses. Alright, back to the top again. Ott's going to close the distance, grab the spear that's sticking out of this lady's back, and see if she could just push it further in, I guess, rather than take it out. That does have advantage now. They are flanking. Not any better. 13. 13's actually their AC, right? Yes. Wow, actually hits. For 8 points of damage. Alright, that'll do it. So, you know, the spy's got the spear in her back, like trying to fight against Nagira, trying to stab her with their swords. You know, just sort of like that crazed look, you know, like this is it, right? These are the throes of the end. And just runs up behind her, like grabs the spear and just pushes like full body down against the flagstones and like keeps pushing on it until you can hear like the tip of the spear scraping against the stone underneath the body, pushing it all the way through. And that will be the end of our combat here. Alright, well. Ugh, man, we're still getting beat up real bad. Now, there's something that, for some reason, I forgot about, and I thought about it earlier, while we were in the fight with the Shadow Dancer. But I didn't bring it up. But we need to check. Now we're making a bunch of noise. Now there's roaring fire going on now, which is spreading, right? This is encampment. It's spreading. There's a lot of flammable things around now. All right, so we do not have anything. Now, the one question I didn't ask is, I didn't consider where we're going to have support from Rhymefire. Like, strategic air superiority power from Rhymefire, which is not something I thought about. I don't know why I didn't. I know as a player, I definitely would have thought of that, but kind of on both sides of the table, I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about the dungeon instead. Alright, so now I just need to ask a question, like, are we going to get support from Rhymefire? I'm leaning towards yes, because it's nighttime, which makes it much easier for people to not be able to pinpoint, like, where he's coming from and going to, as to sort of, like, finding him. So he can just kind of show up like death in the night. So I'm going to say a +3 to this roll to see if he comes in for support. That's a 19. I like that. I like that a lot. I'm going to say that's what the other people have run away from and are dealing with. It's just this coldness that's biting through the air as the wind whips by more than usual. And there's just these torches that are, you know, guttering in the high winds of these guards looking around as this sort of shape flies in and out of the darkness, breathing on them and harassing them and grabbing them and throwing them about. Just sort of fly by attacking them to kind of give them that extra support. And then I think at this point, now where are they going to go? So they have a set of stairs that's different from the ones that they're in. Oh no, sorry. Oh, I totally screwed that up. I screwed up my own drawing. That's okay. I was putting the humanoid camp where the antechamber is supposed to be. So, yeah, that's fine. We'll just step it over. So it looks like there's another set of like these are two sort of like back-to-back staircases. So that one went down, that they came up, went down to like sort of the sluice and undercroft sort of storage area, up to here, which seems to be sort of like the sort of general purpose hall kind of entranceway. That staircase continues upwards, but abutting that is a second staircase that is definitely going down. So the question is do they want to go up or down? I don't know. I don't know which one they would think. I would think if I was in that position I wanted to hide, I would go up so I could get a better vantage point. Rather than down, especially down a way that I didn't know where it was leading to, because it could just corner me in there for the guards. That makes sense to me. So I think that they're going to rush up those stairs. And I think that's a good place for us to probably cut this off. So we'll probably finish out. We don't have that much left of the dungeon. There's just a few rooms left, honestly. There's just a few rooms. We've done more than half of it. Especially since we kind of kept going back and forth a few times. So that is what we're going to do. We're moving on, so we don't need to roll because I just rolled for wandering monsters. But let's go ahead and drop that. So we've dropped the hit. And up the stairs into the guard encampment. Trio of tough enemies. We do know that Rime Fire is... I'm going to say it like the wreck area. It's out there sort of accosting guards. Not necessarily like really trying to kill them all. I mean, they would definitely overpower him. There's enough of them and he's not that big of a dragon. But his ability to sort of fly in and out of the night, especially in the high winds, with their guttering torches, he's able to just sort of like distract them and, you know, keep them busy basically. And just run up the stairs. Where's the what's up? The audience chamber. Yeah, so I think that's pretty good. We got quite a bit done. I mean, we're heavy on the combat this session, right? We are not in a great spot. I'm just going to go ahead and put our combat trackers down here. So, Ott's got 1 hit point, no hit dice. So, not in a great position. Leah's probably in the best position, because she has 10 of her 14 hit points, and both of her... both of her healing hit dice. Sorry, there we go. I was wanting to say healing surges, and I'm like, healing surges? That's like 4th edition. Why am I thinking about that? And Nadia also not doing great with no hit dice left, and... Naida. I'll get that right. It's my character name. I should remember it. pretty beat up, desummoned right now. So if they stays there long enough, they'll probably end up coming back with full hit points. Once they reincorporate. And the Shadow Dancer's out there somewhere. In the dark. Don't know if they're going to stick around. It is true that, for sure, the Shadow Dancer, our rival noble, saw Naida. And so, if the noble does have Naida's heir, we're probably going to learn about that pretty quickly. Yeah, we're probably going to learn about that pretty quickly. And I forgot, we have a name for the noble. It's Naida. And I should probably come up... I guess let me put down a little to-do here. Let's remember recap notes. We don't need those anymore. And these guys will get moved up there. And then sort of our to-do is, or at least my to-do, is I need to figure out a name for the heir. Not the hair, the heir. For Naida's heir. I don't really need anything more about him, but I'm kind of tired of calling the heir the heir. I want to give him a name so I know who the heck they are. But yeah, that's everything from me. I may do, I always say this, I may do a stream this weekend. I know one of my, like I said at the top, one of my D&D games ended up getting canceled, so I may have a little bit of extra time. I also want to do some actually sort of structured video stuff for YouTube, so I might end up doing that instead. I'm not sure. I'm just going to have to see, play it by ear and see how it all works out. I'm also about hip deep in Starfield, so I may just keep playing that. I'm going to try to do a little bit of work, at least. Try to get some of this stuff done. But the lure is strong. And I'm interested to see what happens in that game as well. But yeah, that's everything from me. If you want to find out, if you want to watch everything up to episode 19, you can find all of that. Let's just go out here. You can find all this stuff on YouTube at Red Ragged Fiend. Same thing. Give the follows, give the subscribes, likes, shares, etc., etc. I also have a blog over on redraggedfiend.com. Been doing that for much longer than all this. So if you're looking for more D&D sort of thought pieces, more specifically kind of geared towards DM issues, that's probably the best place to get some of that information. Got some stuff on DriveThruRPG. It's all pay what you want, so you can grab it, download it for free. If you like it, we appreciate a few dollars. Kind of helps maintain the website and video equipment, etc., etc. But yeah, that's going to be it for me, and I will see you guys next time. Alright? Bye.